time to roll the dice on Josh this week?
It's not. Well, it won't be rolling the dice. It'll be, is he ready to go? Yeah, he's ready to go. 10 weeks of hard work, and I guess you get the reward for that. We do, because he's ready. He's trained really well. Main session pulled up really well, and he's feeling confident, and that's the main part.
What does that give you from just an energy point of view? We all know what Josh is like as a character. What does that do just from that perspective?
I think the dynamic of a group, everyone's different, and we all bring different weapons. Josh's is exactly what you spoke about. He just brings an energy. He's got an aura about him, and occasionally we have to rein that back in a little bit, but we never want to lose that, because we've sort of seen how important it is. And so that energy will be important, his execution and so on. It's going to be a tough ask, because the speed of the game, being out of footy is tough to come back and just hit the ground running. The game's not as easy as it looks on telly, but he's done everything possible to show us that he's ready to come back in and help the team.
You have to temper those expectations then a little bit, because, as you said, he's a couple of months out. It's his first final. He's 22. Like, a lot of your fans will look at him as the great saviour. But do you have to temper those expectations for him as well, so he doesn't feel
that's one question I should probably repeat. Yeah, 100%. You got to temper expectations when it comes to this. Max came back last week and was a little bit off with his touch, and it's interesting sitting down with him straight after the game and his feeling of, wow, I needed that run. And there's no doubt that was 6 weeks. So Josh has had 10 weeks out. It won't be perfect, and if it is, we'll all just slap high fives and enjoy it. But it's going to be a huge challenge for him. The guys that have been playing week in, week out all season for both teams are going to show, how important that is, and it's going to be some game of footy.
Have you had that conversation with Josh on how to handle that pressure going into Friday night? Or is he the kind of guy that loves that?
Yeah, we constantly work on that conversation of, we don't want him to lose confidence. Yeah, he's a real. He's one of those guys that just loves playing with belief and confidence, and whether that's within his own head or whether that's teammates giving it to him, we're not going to sap him of that. We want to keep that and bring that as much as you can, Josh. But he understands reality. I think he's just looking forward to getting back out there. It's hard to watch, when you're an important part of a team, to watch your team going through, especially with the guys performing as well as they did. Probably made it a little bit easier for him. But now he's getting reward for working hard.
So will he start?
Oh, we'll make that decision. We've already made it. I'm not telling you guys.
Just the one change at this stage with Bond dropping out?
Yeah, we'll make the one change as it sits at the moment.
Bond wasn't out though. Is he sick or is he fine? Because we had a bit of illness. Was he absent?
No, Bondy's okay. Yep.
And you're the latest victim of the sickness.
Can you hear it? No, we're all good. This is normal. I think it might have come out. I don't know where that came from, whether Laddie was coughing and spluttering, but no, we're good. There's no issues there.
So it's not going to be one of those ones we hear on Friday night that you had 8 blokes who were really crook and you'll hear after.
Oh, well, I've got no doubt that it'll come from somewhere and it may be put back on us that it's an excuse, but hopefully we're not having that conversation. Hey, we can just enjoy a great win and look at what's next.
It's less than ideal, obviously, though. Like, it's your first finals and you got a bunch of guys who...
It's not an issue. It's not an issue, guys. It's not an issue. There's stuff that goes on all throughout the year that you work with challenges around different areas. This is nothing.
So Max gets thrown back this week?
Again, not one that we've locked it in, but not one we're going to talk through now, the detail of how we'll line up. Although his touch was a little off, he did play an important role for us last week. So we'll keep looking at that, and there's an opportunity to change things during the game. That's the bonus of where Max is at. Still young, would have learned a lot from last week, as did a lot of our guys who hadn't been in that or on that stage before. But Max can play multiple roles. There's a number of challenges for us behind the ball this week. Hawthorn's forward line's very dynamic. Talk about energy. They bring that. It's a credit to them. They've been pretty strong all year. So we're going to have to look at that. Max will be part of that at some point.
Did you get the balance of the team wrong last week in terms of the number of... I know you like versatility. We had a lot of defenders in the side, and just Rash coming back helped that balance?
Well, there's always, as I mentioned before, there's a dynamic, there's a team sort of cohesion. I'm not sure that was the be-all and end-all last week, but it may have been something that impacted. There's a lot of different factors that go into us not performing at our best. May have been one of them, but we, this week we've focused on us at our best, gone back, looked at it. They're minor adjustments. Last week we had some key areas that we didn't get right that can really, one, makes it hard for us to score, and our opposition were great. Please don't, I'm not taking anything away from our opposition. I'd say they played some of their best footy for the season. Did we help them with that? Yeah, no doubt. We weren't at our best, and so our focus this week is to get back to our best. What does that look like? No matter who we're playing against, but we are playing a team that's very similar to Collingwood. If you give them an opportunity, they're going to mark the footy behind the ball, sorry. And then they're a very dynamic team at taking you on with the ball, so big challenge.
One of those issues was inside 50 entries, Nixie, or the effectiveness of such. How do you improve that as well?
Small adjustments, and we got a lot of areas right last week as well. And that was one of the areas we did, we broke even with our oppo. We had as many chances. We adjust a couple of small things in around that this week and hope we can bring that contest through the midfield. Again, big challenge there, but confident we will.
Riley Gilthorpe yesterday said that maybe some of the players took themselves a bit too seriously or a bit too serious, and that he'd been instructed to be annoying and bring back the fun a little bit. Is that an important part of it, with so much pressure to try and go back to the things that have been so successful for you all year?
Yeah, when we talk about little things, it can be one of them. Language around that's important. I think being serious, there's a time to really focus and direct your focus. There's a time to actually enjoy what you're doing. And we're always talking through the balance of that. We look back at our best performances and, often there where a team's quite relaxed and there's a really good feel amongst the room and a quiet confidence. There are other weeks where the intensity's right up and we perform really well. So we got to find that balance. Riley's probably talking about maybe me mentioning I love the fact when he smiles and cracks jokes. I think we're all up and about, so I'm glad he's listening.
You said immediately after the game last week that, before going in, you had 7 players that played in finals. Now they all have. Have you sensed a change in that vibe going in terms of perhaps a little less nerves, a bit more of that fun atmosphere just within themselves now they've got one final out of the way? Yeah,
it's incredible what you can learn in a week. And what just being on that stage does. Even just sit in a room and say, okay, who's played finals footy, and every hand goes up. It's one game. We still know we've got so much still to work on. Every team does. Let's be honest. No team's perfect, so we bring our best. We can beat anyone. Hawthorn brings their best. They can beat anyone. So let's see who brings their best Friday night.
Lots been made at the intercept marking last week. How do you address that, noting that obviously it's a strength of Hawthorn's as well? Was that just composure with your guys' ball use, or was it structurally or tactically?
No, it was a combination of a lot of small things. A bit of composure with the ball, and maybe that is the heat of finals footy. Is that perceived pressure that's coming from Collingwood, or is it us putting pressure on ourselves? As well as just the way we structured up and what we looked like ahead of the ball. So we didn't, unfortunately, with a lot of things building up together, we didn't get it right last week. The best part about that is when you can sit down as a group and go through that, and it's clear and we're precise on the areas we're going to be better at. Now the challenge is, can we do it under pressure, knowing that the Hawks will bring that pressure?
When you say you didn't get it right last week, in respect to the very good opposition you played in recent weeks, even going back to the Hawthorn game a month ago, the Collingwood game, even the North game, there's some signs, and I think you said it in post-match press, that you just weren't playing at your best. So what gives you the confidence that it's not actually a pattern of where you're at the moment in terms of performance, and you can arrest those little things that have been tripping you up?
I just think you look across a bigger body of work, there's so much confidence in our group. We're talking about a game we played last week. We're all stuck on that a little bit. When I say we, I'm probably talking about you guys. We're not stuck in that space. How many wins do you want prior to that we can go back and focus on? Yeah, maybe we weren't at our best, but we got the job done. So we're going to try and bring our best tomorrow night. Could we maybe not bring that and still get the job done? Yeah, we're super confident that that's the case. Our finals footy brings another level. You get punished for any mistakes you make, but our group are super confident. They've enjoyed their week. They've enjoyed now saying, okay, there's a taste, let's go and do it again.
There's a huge difference between finishing minor premiers, winning a final and making a prelim and going out in straight sets. And the expectation might not have been to be where you got so far, you're here now. Do you have to remind the group that these opportunities don't come around all that often, that, you know, a lot of players say they thought they'd get back to a grand final as soon as they went out of one and then the opportunity doesn't come again? Do you remind them of that?
Yeah, we don't need to remind them. There's little things you talk about all throughout the year with process, lock in on process. I think everyone knows how tight the competition was this year. We did a fantastic job at the latter part of this season to just find a way to win. And in the end, the difference between, you know, 1 win, 1.5 wins knocks you up into that top spot. The reality, and we understand the reality, is the competition is incredibly tight. Every team that made the finals, and even a team that missed, on their day can all knock each other off. We've got to go and get the job done. It's simple as that.
So is it fair to say this week you've equally focused on the 9 wins you had before the Pies game than reviewing what could be the anomaly?
We'll always go back to what's the trend? What's the trend for us? And the trend is we've been winning games of footy. There's a patch there through the middle of the year where even I stood in front of you guys and we talked about, wow, we're playing some of the best footy that we ever have. Of course we want to get back to that. If we don't, let's just get back to a level that we know will get the job done.
Saw Dawson getting some strapping done to his ankle. He had the knock on the weekend, just checking he's all good.
He's fine, yeah.
Would a straight set season in any way detract from the major strides you've made this year?
It's not really one we're focused on at the moment. We're not looking at that. We're looking at a game. It's a game of footy. It's a final. We put ourselves in a position to have a double chance, in fact, a double home chance in finals footy. It's a pretty good effort. We won't even be talking about it. What did you call it? Straight sets? No, let's just go and beat Hawthorn, eh?
Matt, obviously, it was straight after a really disappointing loss last week. If you had your time again, would you have addressed the booing of Quainer?
Yeah, in a post-game it's tough because we sit in a soundproof booth, so we don't really see much of it. Looking back on it, our fans are passionate. I love our fans' passion, but I'm not a fan of booing. I would encourage our supporters. I'd encourage, put your energy and your intensity behind us and our performance.
Jack Ginnivan thrives off being the villain, so would you, if you could flick a switch, would you say, please don't jeer him, just leave him be?
Or was he the exception?
I don't need a comment around that.